After 59 years, Star Trek finally has its own version of Yoda. For nearly 6 decades, Star Trek has charted a different course from Star Wars. While both franchises explore space, morality, and the future of civilization, they do so with vastly different aesthetics and philosophies. Yet, in one crucial area, Star Wars always had an edge: Yoda. The ancient, cryptic, and wise Jedi Master offered a spiritual gravitas that Star Trek, with its more scientific and humanistic bent, rarely embraced. But after 59 years, that may have finally changed. Thanks to Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, the franchise now has its own Yoda, not a green alien with quirky speech, but a character who fills a similar narrative and emotional role: Captain Batel's mentor and Vulcan spiritualist, T'Veen. Though still a minor figure in terms of screen time, T'Veen, and others like her, represent something Star Trek has lacked: a deeply spiritual elder who provides mystical guidance and emotional clarity in moments of great uncertainty. This shift marks a fascinating evolution for Star Trek, which traditionally leaned on logic, ethics, and diplomacy more than mysticism. With T'Veen and other recent figures, the franchise is finally embracing a role that viewers subconsciously craved: a spiritual anchor. The need for a Yoda in Trek. Yoda served as a narrative compass in Star Wars, the wise elder who could decode the mysteries of the Force and guide heroes through existential dilemmas. In Star Trek, guidance has traditionally come from captains, admirals, or the ship's counselor. These figures were rooted in psychology, science, or military experience, but rarely in spiritualism. While Vulcans often brushed against philosophical ideals, their stoicism and logic left little room for the mystical. That made Trek feel more grounded, but also, occasionally, emotionally sterile. Characters like Spock and Data were fascinating in their detachment, but not the kinds of figures who offered profound, cryptic insights into the soul's journey. Starfleet officers were heroes of reason. What they lacked was a true guide through the unquantifiable mysteries of existence. Strange New Worlds changes the equation. Enter Strange New Worlds, a show that honors the legacy of the original series while infusing it with deeper emotional storytelling. In this show, we've seen not just the galaxy, but also the internal worlds of characters like Spock, Lon, and Captain Pike. One of the most unexpected additions has been the slow inclusion of spiritual figures, not necessarily in the religious sense, but in the archetypal role of the mystical mentor. T'Veen, an elderly Vulcan with a quiet authority and an affinity for deep philosophical guidance, may be the clearest example. She doesn't fight battles or make tactical decisions. She listens. She interprets. She offers cryptic wisdom about fate, purpose, and the nature of reality. In doing so, she channels the same aura that made Yoda unforgettable. She isn't the only one. Pike's experiences with the Klingon mystic monks in Season 2 also hinted at Trek's growing embrace of the spiritual. So did Spock's emotional awakening, a subplot that sees a character long defined by logic wrestle with love, intuition, and vulnerability. Strange New Worlds dares to ask, what if wisdom isn't just about science or diplomacy, but about understanding yourself? Wisdom beyond science. Trek has always had intelligent characters, from Picard quoting Shakespeare to Janeway breaking down quantum theory mid-battle. But intellect alone doesn't comfort a dying crewman. It doesn't help a captain reconcile with his mortality, and it doesn't prepare you for unknowable cosmic events. Characters like T'Veen provide a different kind of guidance, the same kind Yoda gave Luke on Dagobah. When Captain Batel confides in her, the response isn't tactical or analytical. It's spiritual. It's about acceptance, intuition, and letting go. That's a profound shift for Star Trek, and a welcome one. In a way, it mirrors a broader evolution in modern storytelling. Audiences want complexity in their heroes, but they also yearn for the old archetypes: the wizards, mentors, and sages who speak in riddles but tell the truth. These figures remind us that not everything can be explained. Some things must be felt, experienced, and accepted. Why now? Perhaps the more interesting question is, why has it taken 59 years for Star Trek to find its Yoda? Part of it has to do with the times in which Star Trek was created. In the 1960s, Gene Roddenberry envisioned a secular, rational future where humanity had evolved beyond superstition. Religion was often painted as a relic of the past, or even a source of conflict. While this vision had